parents who disowned their kids. According to Reddit. Number 20. I've disowned one of my siblings. I still have 5 others. My sister is just a horrible person. She's the youngest of 7, and she's been rotten since she was a teenager. She's much younger than the rest of us, so while the other 6 grew up together, she was almost like any other child, or an only child. She treats everybody in her life like they're here to serve her needs. Some of the things she's put our mother through are truly horrible, and I wouldn't give a shit if she just disappeared forever. Well, that's truly unfortunate. Somebody said, is she that Muffy bitch from Arthur? Every day when you're walking down the street, huh? A hello to everybody in the stream chat. And hoping you're having a good day. Or night, if you're on the coast that I'm on. Hello, Tara. Hello, Ryukage, True Silver, Hummingbird. Hello to all of you. Number 19, not my story, but in a similar thread to this one that was asking parents about when they realized their children were monsters, someone linked to this post. The too long didn't read of that post is that the son was a piece of crap as a teenager, but took it way further by eventually raping his own mother, who committed suicide a year after, just from 0 to 1,000. You know what I mean? This is why these videos will never get monetized, but I'm not seeking that. I just want to be able to, I don't know, historically document the nonsense that went down on Reddit. While Reddit existed, a forgotten page in the book of the internet. Number 18. I love my son, but he abused me. When he turned that violence on to his sister by choking her, I had to say goodbye. Wow, man. How do you deal with violent abuse out of your kid? Because I remember one of the most profound Reddit threads I ever found and read was about, I want to say, mentally challenged people and what the parents went through there. And I know it takes patience and restraint to deal with some of these people, but how do you deal with them in a home with other children? Can you? They were talking about how, for some of them, they knew that they'd be taking care of this person past when they grew up for the rest of their life. Pretty dark stuff. It's bringing me down just thinking about it. Oh, damn. So we continue up to number 17. My father said my mother's issue was that she had too many children and it gave her some kind of brain fever, much like a dog that loses its mind after having too many puppies. Oh. My mother said my father felt trapped by me. He was planning to leave when it was just my 2 older brothers And then my mother got pregnant with me, and he felt obligated to stay. Now that I'm an adult with 2 kids myself, I think I realized that both of my parents were just extremely mentally ill and incapable of loving anyone, including themselves. Man, this is pretty scary stuff. This is pretty scary stuff. Like, come on, man. Can't you guys just pretend instead of unloading all this baggage on us? Parents. So we continue to number 16. Since it seems to have widened a bit, a family torn apart. Well, what the hell? Based on an aunt and her niece. The aunt starts signs of dementia at a relatively young age. She's moved into an assisted living home. The niece, who bounces around jobs, gets hire-ex to go visit her about once a week. Take her out to the mall or walk in the park. Whatever. Paid handsomely. We get an alert that the aunt has a check bounce from her account that should have $5,000 in it. The niece has drained the account, proven beyond a doubt with receipts. The niece would take the aunt to the bank machine every Friday and withdraw around $200, fill her car up with gas, and charge us hours when she clearly didn't spend hours with the aunt. The family rift was caused because, for some bizarre reason, the niece's family took her side. Shit like this happens, man. Shit like this happens. I think the way you got to look at it is to look in the direction of the extreme. There are families right now where, like, the younger children in the family are being abused, and the parents are covering that up, you know? And if the kids even try to speak out, then they're made to, look like fools, or, like they can't handle real life, and, they're just attacked. The children are attacked if they have a problem with it. And it's the world we live in. So I think the worst thing to do when terrible things occur is to go, how can it be like, how can they do that? It's like, bro, just because you're not of that kind of sick mindset doesn't mean the mentality isn't something that some people were almost like born into and have kind of been indoctrinated into this lack of moral compass or sympathy, empathy, what do you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. It's just it has nothing to do with some people, and they don't need to be a sociopath. They just need to be detached or disassociated with the world as we see it. I know some people, well, not personally, but I know people that only consider children because of what the government will give them as far as them having one. So if a person doesn't really care about their spawn more than the amount of dollars that will be thrown at them for the fact that they have them, what might they use that child to do? If someone finds that child appealing and is willing to pay, to blank, those parents do not care, and it's terrible, but it's true. Number 15. I hope my mom answers this one. Yuck, 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 yuck. Every list, there's some guy making a comment about the list, so I don't have to go all the way down and read another one. This kind of thing hurts me. Do you know how long it takes to scroll? Guys, the disappearance of Kyle. I don't know, it's gonna go down tomorrow, but we'll see. If you guys hear from me in the end of the day, then you'll know everything's okay. But if you don't, I'll try to get to you in the middle of the day if everything goes well. Something big. The wild card says your voice is so soothing, thank you. and I appreciate it, you know? BioLizard says, I swear to God this dude got a creepy-ass voice. What are you, like 12? I'm sorry that I guess nobody around you has hit puberty, my dude. But if it's creepy, I'm gonna go ahead and let your ass know. Nobody's forcing you to be here. Did you know? You're the one on my channel, in my stream chat, commenting about how creepy the voice is. These are the types of people that claim abuse, or, you know, that they're being bullied, when in reality, you know, if somebody was really coming at you, you could have just blocked them the whole time. Nobody asked you to be here. Giggity get the fuck out, my dude. Remember yourself, because nobody else will. Number 21. I'm not sure if this counts. I didn't disown him, but I went through a dissociative episode after some really intense trauma. I honestly couldn't feel any attachment or parental love that I had for my son. Holy crap, this is exactly what I was just talking about. I tried not to show it. They actually tried to pretend, God bless him, and behave as normally as possible because he was a child at the time and couldn't possibly understand what I was going through. It was pretty disturbing to not be able to feel any sense or bond with him. I eventually got better, but I definitely did not feel what I or most people would call love for my child. Now, here's what's intense, all right? I've said this before, but I want to try to elaborate on it now. I do genuinely believe that every parent, man or female, when they have their child for the first time and it truly begins to set in that their life as they know it has evaporated and that now they do live in service to this child, you know, and that not even like 90% of the time, but essentially 99% of your time will be devoted to keeping this little bastard from killing himself, to making sure, you know, you are now responsible for this thing. It's not just like an animal where when it turns up dead, it's no harm, no foul. You're responsible for a life where, because people know about this life, and even if you don't have friends or family that know about this,
Keep up the good work, my dude.
Thank you, Justin Thoas. You're everything that I wanted in a subscriber. You're even a sponsor too, and a donator as well. Justin, you may just be the chosen one, prophesied to unite the tribes of the Kael channel. Oh boy. Tara says postpartum depression at its finest. No, but here's what I'm getting at, Tara. You know, I don't mean to be long-winded. I do feel that when some people have children and it sets in that your old life is gone, you're never going to be what you used to be. You're probably never going to look how you used to look. You know what I mean? And like some people delude themselves into believing that, no, there's a way to still recapture that. They can still chase it. And it is, for all intents and purposes, delusion. I do believe that realization, that recognition, drives certain people crazy. You know, let alone, let's not even get into like the sleepless nights, the hatred, the personal self-hatred, the feelings that they're really not cut out to be a parent, that they can't do this, that they can't take care of this kid, that maybe they feel like they hate him. And I've said this before, and I want people to understand that it doesn't make a parent a terrible person, but I don't think there is a single parent in existence who has a kid who doesn't at least 4 to 5 times consider the idea of taking that kid's life. Do you get what I'm saying? But thoughts are just thoughts, and action is another thing. Everyone has dark thoughts occasionally. Everyone thinks of leaping into the abyss. We get into a car and we think, man, what if you're driving in the passenger seat and you think, what if I jerk that steering wheel right now while we're driving down the highway? You think, what if I open up the car door right now and I just jump out? Just because you're thinking it doesn't mean you do it. But there are parents right now who have a kid who hasn't allowed them to sleep, who has a kid that is making them aware that, nah, dude, your whole life is going to be watching me for decades. It's going to be taking care of me. It's going to be you having a job and not seeing the fruit of any of that labor, because all of that fruit needs to be invested financially, physically, mentally into the development of this little bastard, who in many ways may turn around and hate you in whatever capacity because you're worn thin. So maybe you're not making sense. Maybe you're not operating at your finest. Do you get what I'm saying? Shit like this. It breaks many parents to do what they need to do. And the whole time the kid's going to be kicking back, laughing at them because, like, look at your sloppy ass. You know what I mean? But some people who are never capable of being a parent find themselves in this situation, and it's too damn late. It's too damn late to be like, oh, well, I can't do this, bruh. You already balls deep in this situation. And the kids suffer for that. And that's an impossibly unfortunate situation, but it's life, I imagine. So, I know it's a lot of padding for me, essentially just saying, hey, most parents have probably thought about offing them little bastards, my dude, but it's not just them. It's not like that's a wildly unique scenario. It's happened to, I would imagine, every parent at some point, because there is no proper preparation. And it's a shame we don't have like a virtual reality experience to truly acquaint you with the despair and the realization, the departure of your life, so to speak. The envelopment of responsibility that is being a parent, and no matter how good you do, or no matter how much of your all you give, no matter how much you try your best, it's probably not going to be good enough, man, because you won't be present in any and all scenarios. And even if you were, who's to say that you would do the best for what they need? Because how do you know what they need? Every child is unique. You can try your best, and sometimes you can have negative effects on a kid and their development. Sometimes the way that people go about things is not the way that it ends up coming out, You may have good intentions, but your actions will come out looking a certain way. And it's funny, in an ironic way, I suppose. But it's also pretty fact out. Number 14. I wouldn't say that I've disowned or stopped loving my son, but it's really tough for me to find love for him. What does that mean? He's almost 14, and he's currently out of our home at a treatment facility. He has an average of 2 arrests a year for the last 2 years, and he's attacked my wife several times. He's attacked our daughter several times, and the neighborhood kids several times. He's run away from home, run away from school, tried to push me off the roof of our house, threatened to jump off and hurt himself, said that we have become that family. No, we have become that family in our town where the police are called to our home on so regular a basis. He's been getting more violent as he gets older, not to mention bigger and stronger, and I honestly don't see an end in sight. The key fact I'm leaving out is that he's been diagnosed as a high-functioning autistic with bipolar disorder. And that's not just like, oh, I was on Tumblr / I'm browsing Twitter and I saw some diagnoses that I appreciate. Like, he went in and, he has this shit. That's like putting walls around a tornado and expecting it to stay inside the walls. A lot of what has occurred has had little control over because of the way his mind is. My wife and I have tried desperately to give him the best life that we can while keeping our daughter safe, but I'm tired. My man put that bold. It's been 8.5 years, and we've been going through this with him, and I've been ready to throw in the towel on it for a while, but my wife refuses to let him go. So we wake up every morning trying to give him the best life for him and our girls. Y'all niggas need to make a decision, homie. I'm sorry. If it was just him and y'all want to suffer through that, you guys are, fine with that. But if you're trying to establish a healthy environment for the girls, you're going to have a problem. How bad does it need to get? Do they need to get beat up? Do they need to get a black eye before you can get in there? Because if they're getting in fights already, then this is, it's only, all it takes one day is a little bit of a push for somebody to use a weapon or somebody to, get a blade or something like that. And it's too little too late. Things get really bad when you ignore warning signs. Because there are tragic and genuine incidents where there's nothing that you could have done to stop it. But when something goes wrong with this little bastard, this dad is always going to be able to look back and say, I saw the warning signs and I did nothing. So as it pertains to everything that you got going on in your life right now, don't give motherfuckers the line and watch them step over it all the time. Don't allow them to habitually step over the line and you do nothing about it. Let it be somebody just fooling you out of nowhere once so you can think, damn, shame on them. I couldn't have seen that shit coming. They just came out of nowhere with that. But if you put a line in the sand and they step over it, and then one day they step way over the line, you can't be surprised because they've been stepping over that line a long time. It was only a matter of time until they stepped even further over the line. You know what I'm talking about? So when this dude reaches a point that he's like beating up these girls, beating up the wife, maybe even injuring the wife. What about mortally injuring? We're just bags of flesh. We're just watery little bags of flesh. He could knock this chick in the face in a way where she got problems breathing. Her jaw comes unhinged. Her eyeball is like damaged irreparably. Imagine him making it so that one of these chicks is blind for the rest of their life. And that's best case scenario, man. At least she's still breathing. Don't give this little bastard the opportunity. He's bipolar. He'll reach a point where he's not even in control of his own actions. And you said it yourself, my dude. You would compare it to putting walls around a tornado, but you keeping the tornado in the house because of what your bitch wife thinks? Shit. Maybe I care enough about my daughters in this hypothetical to risk a rift with my wife to guarantee the safety from an aggressor. Because there's so many invisible aggressors in your life. Why you gonna make it so that the one that you can see, you just allow to keep doing what they doing? Fuck off, my dude. What does anybody have to say to this in the comment section? Dude's answering with another story. Here we go. My brother has the same combination and was in a similar situation at that age. He's 10 years older now and has been studying for a PhD and engaged to a wonderful woman. I'm not promising that it will get better, but it can. Well, bitch, glass half full for you. And you're lucky that it just worked out. And what? He was able to suppress it? Maybe with the right amount of medication? They need to medicate this boy into vegetable state, boy. How many times you gonna have a little bastard get arrested before? It just doesn't seem like a white family. And you kind of know it is. Forgive me for assuming. You got a kid, he's diagnosed bipolar and high-functioning autistic. The medication isn't regulating his actions in a capacity that makes it so he's not getting arrested all the time. You want to know what being arrested is? It's financially draining. You know what I'm saying? Y'all only need to deal with the law, which is to say the system of justice in this country, one time before you understand that money is a big component of that. And that's kind of what keeps them wheels turning. That's a big reason why, weed ain't legal everywhere, boy. It's the money. The fuck? Boy, number 13. Forgive me. Not a parent, but my parents stopped loving me the moment that I was disfellowshipped as a Jehovah's Witness. Okay, so I've never seen that word before, but contextually we are meant to assume that it means that you were like disowned by the church, thrown out of the flock. Can you imagine? I didn't know that there was so formal a name for it. I know the Catholic Church will kind of like cast people out of their fold, of their flock, if they do something bad enough. But what do you do with the Jehovah's Witness that they make you, this guy's too cool, disfellowshipped? Imagine Grand Theft Auto, but instead of when you die, It just says disfellowshipped on the screen. Oh my god. Wasted. So he was disfellowshipped. I was promptly kicked out of my house. Wow, your parents suck. But Jehovah's Witnesses are, in a cult, and they do not associate with people who are not in their cult unless they're trying to convert them, knocking on your door, harassing you while you're trying to do your thing. Christians suck too, but at least they're not banging on your door on that bullshit all the time. Get the fuck out of here. How did you get in here? What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Do I have a moment to talk? Do you have a moment for my fist in your ass? You don't want it. You don't want this fist in your butt. What is the deal with this fist in your ass? I knew nothing of how to live on my own at the time, but I had a recent or decent job, and I survived. Hey. My brother, whoa. Oh my god. No. Holy crap, a giant moth got in here. Forgive me. My brother stopped associating with them 2 years later and lives with them. Or lives with me. They since moved away. Huh. It's easier to tell people that I am an orphan or that I don't have parents, because it's hard to explain how they would stop loving or want to associate with their own son over some stupid cult rules. Well, that's a cult. I wouldn't say it's easier to say that you're an orphan so much as say that my parents are in a cult. And the cult dictates that if I don't follow the rules of their cult and mirror their ideologies, if I do not associate myself and align my thoughts and actions with the mandates established by their cult, then I don't exist to them. It's the truth. It's the truth. So tell people that. Somebody says, I have seen so much of this with Jehovah's Witness families. It seems like a horrible cult. It really is. And it's so transparently a cult that it blows your mind that people are still down to even be a part of it. It kind of makes you want to become evil and start your own cult yourself. You know what I mean? But it would be wrong of me to try to indoctrinate or lead people down a line where I want them to join a cult. I just want you to live your life. And if you want to go to my wish list and get something off of that, you can do that too. But if not, you can definitely just kick back, rub your belly, and click the Streamlabs link in my description. And if you don't even want to do that, that's fine. You can totally just, like the video, go join the Discord and get notifications of when the stream is going to happen again. Assuming I don't get in trouble tomorrow. Bing bong. Number 12. I disowned a family member, but it wasn't a child. We were very close until he ended up being caught in a pedo sting. Ugh. Then I turned my back and I haven't looked back. I have a sister the age of the girl he was supposed to meet. I can't associate with scum like that. According to my sister, nothing was ever done to her, thank God. Oh no, he was trying to meet a little girl and they got him. I'm Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a seat? What are you doing here? Oh man, look man, I know I shouldn't have done it, man. I was thinking about how I should have done it the whole time. But you came, didn't you? What were you planning to do? No man, I wasn't going to do anything. Well, I have the chat logs right here. Damn girl, I want to flip it and dip it. I want to spread those butt cheeks like a taco and slide my meat right in there. Gonna ground this beef in you. It's about to get electric and I've got the ground beef. That's not cool. It's about to get electric and I've got the ground? That's pretty amazing, Kyle, that you say stupid shit like that. Your channel's never gonna get good. That's the plan. Oh, and I've got the ground. Ooh, that's like really delightfully stupid, and I love it. I've got the ground beef. Shit. It's a good thing I'm not getting clipped. That would be ridiculous. Number 11. My family disowned me because I disowned my mother. Oh no. I was sexually groomed, abused, and tortured by her husband for years. And when I told her, she not only didn't believe me, she stayed married to him for 7 years. I had to move out at 16 years old to get away from how I was being treated. Then when I finally began speaking to others, she started to cover her ass with her social circle by telling them that I seduced her husband. Oh my God. This is it, boy. This is that scum that we were looking for. This is that scum. My God. I think there's nothing more disgusting in the world than a woman who will lie, because women socially are believable. You know, a lot of these dumb hoes on the internet are fighting so hard for what they consider to be equality. But you want to know what equality is? It's not being believed. It's not being taken seriously. It's not having things be easy for you. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not implying that everything's easy for women. I'm saying because women are women, they can really jump in front of a crowd and squawk and whine and coo and convince people that what they're saying is irrefutably true. That is rarely the case with a man. You know, no dude's gonna run out into the middle of the street and just be like, oh my God, this thing happened to me, and have a bunch of white knights jump up and come to the, I'll save you, milady, lead us to the aggressor. And hell nah, that shit ain't happening. So in a situation like this, where it's just like the mom had a husband who was abusing the little girl, and then when the little girl tells the mom, she out here like, oh, well, it didn't happen like that. You got a social circle that's just gonna believe you, you know? What the fuck? Oh no. 16 years old, you gotta move out to get away from this dude, this old dude abusing you. Okay, you know, I cut her off for years and didn't want to ever see her again, but my family bullied me to just get over it and have a relationship with my mother because I was hurting her. Even my sister, who knew what happened and knew why I stayed away for so long to protect her, fell into the trap of my mother whining to everyone around her and painting me as a liar. About 4 years ago, she was diagnosed with very sudden advanced cancer. She fucking deserved it. You're not gonna hear me say that on a list ever. But listen, what? You're about to be missing. Do you know who's going to find you? An old man fishing. Grandpa wishing your soul could rest, but it's hard to digest with the size of the cancer in your chest. You deserve this. You deserve this, my dude. There is nothing sicker, you know, than people who abuse and people who molest and people who take advantage of people who are vulnerable and can't do anything because they dealing with somebody that's outside of their size, so much bigger that they could break them, that they could crumple them, that they could instantly end their life with a well-placed punch right in the freaking, you know what I mean? There's nothing sicker than that, than an abuse of power. From an elder to a child. And the only thing sicker than that is when you assholes are supposed to be related. So it's expected that the love should make you guys want to protect one another, as opposed to take even more advantage. There's nothing sicker than having other people who know cover for you. Another parent is covering for this dude. And if that's not sick enough, then the mom covering for the dad that was abusing the girl. After this chick found a way to get away, you got the family out here going, oh, you need to get over it. That's in the past. That happened years ago. Really? Why don't y'all all just choke on it? Why don't y'all find something to choke on? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you got cancer. You know, hello, music store? Can y'all hit me with, listen, I'm talking like a really miniature novelty violin that I can play? Please, please. I was moving out of my house state, or home state, and everyone told me I needed to see her before I left, that I needed to be there, but I didn't want to. In the end, everyone turned their back on me. They were so mad I wouldn't just forget my trauma just to say goodbye to someone I hadn't loved for a long time, and rightly so. Girl, I'm so glad that this bitch was strong enough to turn her back on this shit. Because even the media has conditioned everybody to be forgiving of people, to try to redeem, people redeem themselves after their disgusting behavior. But the bottom line is, even if people change, what they did doesn't vanish. Do you get what I'm saying? Some of them were of complete sound mind. This isn't like, oh, he was drunk as hell, he didn't know what he was doing. Oh, he was strung out on crack. He was on some drugs, and all the drugs were just making him like an animal. He was all impulse. These people were fully cognizant. They were capable. They were aware. They were in their right mind when they did what they did, and they made the choices to do what they do. Do you get what I'm saying? Doing what they do for personal gain, selfish gain. Abusing because it made them feel better, because they needed an outlet, because nothing existed but them. This wasn't about like teaching a lesson. This wasn't about a consequence for bad actions. This was just something that was done and that other people allowed to be done to somebody that didn't deserve it, to somebody that couldn't stop it, to somebody that was vulnerable, so that they could get their fucking kicks. And then after the fact, y'all niggas want to lie and try to rewrite history, as a woman does. As a woman does. It didn't happen like that. Well, the video says otherwise. You know what I'm talking about? And now you got cancer, and we supposed to care. And now you got cancer, and we supposed to care. We're supposed to regard this as anything other than justice, than karmic, cosmic justice. Go fuck yourself. Stories like this make my blood boil. You know? Because I think the only thing sorrier than, people that don't want to stand up to some of the aggressors coming at them is the unfortunate truth that sometimes when they do open their mouth to say something, people either don't care, people either go, oh, well, you're making a big deal out of nothing, People take the side of the other people, and it sucks. It sucks. What are we gonna do? This is a dark list. Number 10. Oh, please don't let me see this phrase again. I'm tired of talking about this cult. Number 10. As Jehovah's Witnesses, my parents disowned my siblings and I several times since I was in my late teens. One of the Jehovah's Witnesses rules is that you do not associate with people who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, if you're not in the cult and you don't, uphold the cult's ideologies, then we disassociate with you. And let me stop really quickly just to address something. One of the hugest tactics in many religions, but in this cult especially, is the tactic of isolation. They're going to play on the idea that you are alone, that you have nothing, that without us, you are nothing. And you have no one, and what's your purpose? What's your point? Do you get what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna play on to make it so that you just immediately snap into the shit, because without it, everybody's gonna drop you. You're not gonna exist, and that fear should keep you bound to our little cult here, right? Holy bing bong. So one of the Jehovah's Witnesses rules is that if you do not associate with others who don't know the truth, which is, their cult bullcrap, but refuse to follow it, including family, parents, are encouraged to disown any children who have left the religion. The first time was when I was 19. It upset me, and I was heartbroken, and eventually changed their minds, only to do it again a couple of years later. So until I stopped caring and no longer attempt to be a part of their lives at all. So on until I stopped caring. Well, interesting. This is a pretty sad list, Number 9. Oh man. My mother and her sister were both adopted into a great family. Recently, my grandfather fell ill and we were told to prepare to say goodbye. So the family gathered. My grandmother has a hard time with her memory since she had a brain hemorrhage, but she welcomed my aunt into her home during this tough time. Whilst my grandfather was in his final week, Wendy, the aunt, took my grandmother's ATM card and proceeded to spend well over $1,000 on herself and get herself a motel room. She attempted to steal their car, and when my uncle found out, she basically disappeared. After my grandfather passed and his funeral was all sorted, my grandmother went to an attorney to write Wendy out of the inheritance she would get from their estate when she passes. She didn't press any formal charges because the whole process would have been lengthy and more painful for her. She didn't need the extra stress. I'm pretty sure one of my uncles also threatened Wendy to make sure that she stayed away from the grandmother from now on too. Yeah, I've seen that firsthand. People showing up trying to get a handout when somebody just died, even though they had nothing to do with that person's life. It's truly disgusting. It's kind of life, though. It's kind of life. The game of life. Wait a minute. Thought I was hearing something. Number 8. Ooh. I've been legally disowned by my father when I was 11 years old. My mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer. This was her second diagnosis in around 4 years. Obviously, she recovered the first time after intense surgery and a lot of chemo. He did not want to look after her like he did before. He also had a new girlfriend and her family to look after, apparently, and had no issue leaving us. When my mom passed, when I was 14 years old, my brother, grandmother, him and I met up to discuss who I was going to live with. And he then showed up and declared that he was in the process of going to court legally to emancipate himself from me. He went out of his way to legally declare that I was no longer his child, just so that my brother, who is 22 years old with a wife and 2 young children already struggling on one paycheck, couldn't seek child support. Needless to say, it stung, coming only days after my mother's funeral. Hey, listen, y'all thought y'all had it bad? At least y'all ain't worried about whether or not you're gonna be in trouble every friggin' month. You know, I'm talking about jail trouble on that ass, alright? At least you guys ain't worried about whether or not your mommy and daddy are going to be a part of your life. You know, I'm saying that knowing that some of you may not even have a mom and dad kicking around anymore or at all. But at least it's not like something you have to worry about whether it will be or whether it won't be. You know, we're all I'd imagine that all of us have our feet firmly planted on the ground enough to want either extreme. Either our parents are just gone or our parents are in our lives. But the flip-flop of not knowing, you know, whether they are going to be or whether they're not going to be, that's a little bit like bullcrap. Then we don't really need it, you know, and you may not need their support, but you would like the certainty. And this is abysmal. This dude already had a girlfriend and family set up. Went out of his way to not. I didn't even know that it could be done like this. He went out of his way to legally declare that I wasn't his child so that the brother wouldn't be able to seek child support. You gotta wonder, man. Whenever we read a story, you know that like a similar version with like different, with slightly different variables exists. So imagine if this kid didn't even have a brother or didn't have a grandmother or a grandpa, you know? What if like he's just living with his mommy and his daddy and his mommy dies and then the dad goes out of his way to emancipate himself as caregiver or father? Where would that kid go? Is that kid now in foster care? Number 7. My biological father divorced my mom and also his 3 kids, basically bouncing out of our lives and making it clear that he wanted next to nothing to do with any of us when he left. Many years later, at my older sister's funeral, he had the fucking gall to attend. I asked him why he did that, and he said, I thought it would be easier for everyone? Bitch, get the fuck out of here. He actually meant it was easier for him to run home to his wealthy family and enjoy a second adolescence while my single mother worked 2 jobs to feed 3 kids under 10 with 0 support from him. She took him back in. So your mom took him back in. Well, that's on your mom for being a dumb bitch. I don't understand. He actually meant it was easier for him to run home to his wealthy family and enjoy a second adolescence. Wait. Is he saying that I think it would be easier on everyone as a response to why he left? Because when he says I asked him why he did that, I feel like he meant why did you attend the funeral, not why did you leave? But I guess he's answering the question, why did you leave? And he says, I think it'd be easier on everyone because he ran back to his wealthy family to just kick it. Someday I wish I could know what that was like. How do I get into a family of people that are just so wealthy that they just let me kick it and live my life? Set me up in a studio so I can do this crap around the clock. Love people and give them a hot distraction. Hire a writer or somebody that's going to edit videos and get news bullshit so I can do Kyle News or some shit like that. My God. Oh, Lord. Life isn't just going to be handed to most of us, you know? Can you imagine? Number 6. My Bing Bong. Come on, man. This list isn't big titty enough for me to be scrolling up this much. My God, my dude. Oh, this is going to be a long one, and I'm barreling through it, okay? So bear with me, okay? I love you. Like the video. I'm going to go through this. This hurts. Ugh. Not my kid, but my sister. I raised for several years. I was a senior in high school when my parents had my sister. Completely unexpected. They were 58 and 55, and I never really got to know her as much as I went away to college when... I never really got to know her much, as I went away to college when I was 5 months old. Was in the Air Force by the time she was 1.5. I saw her twice on leave and got pictures, but the way life was working out, we never really got time together. Fast forward, our dad dies when she is 2 years old, and my stepmother is raising her. She was a terrible parent, like the kind that one would see, the kind that saw one of her kids run away at 16 to halfway across the country, another one would run away at 15 and get married, and one that is just a loon who spent his life bouncing around whatever hot MLM program was out as a career. Well, look, man, yes, there are bad parents, and I'm not gonna defend whether or not this person was or was not, but some little kids are crazy. So the idea that one kid runs away, that's not that crazy. Kids run away every single minute, right? I'm not gonna lie, I would imagine that if one of the kids ran away, it probably bolstered the other kid into thinking they could run away too. But the real question is, if you running away to get married, I like to think somebody slipped through the cracks. You know what I mean? Like this person was talking to somebody online or something like that, and then they just found this dude to run to, and was like, "Oh yes, 15 years old, let's get married. Then it's legal." Is it? Is that how the law works, guys? I'm not sure. What the hell does a 15-year-old have that is interesting to you guys? You know? Is somehow like she have the body of like a 20-year-old, you know? She got like D cups or G cups somehow at 15 years old. What's going on? You know? I just think it's a freak. I just think it's a pedo bastard that's into little kids. And that's why that happens. But yeah, we can all agree, I think, that a parent probably should have had a closer eye on this little bastard, because that's a real young age to run away at, you know? Seems more like he or she may have gotten picked up. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I don't know. Hey, look, what the hell y'all out here doing promoting yourselves in the fucking stream chat? I told y'all about that, you know? Jesus Christ. You know, I shouldn't have done a list so late that Linda can't be in here, because she's probably the only one that will parrot the rules to everybody, but it's very simple. Don't spam the chat. Don't promote your bullshit. And I've seen this person do that on multiple occasions, so they know the rules, alright? Linda, you're fine. You don't need to be on at all times. It's just, yeah. I don't like it when people have an excuse to pretend that they don't know, because then we end up hearing about it for weeks after. It just kills me in the middle of the night. So, yeah, I mean, you assholes know the rules. So when you break them, don't be surprised. Oh my god. Yeah, that's really it. That should be the main rule. Don't be stupid. Because people who are breaking the rules typically know damn well what the hell they shouldn't be doing. But here we go. Oh boy. So speaking of 15-year-olds who ran off and got married, which is whoever I just, you know, sent to gay baby jail. Oh, damn. Uroboros Null says, for your video informing me of a Tatiana, I also donated to the family and encouraged others to do so. Thanks, man. I mean, it's very good because there was a development on... Oh, damn.
For your video informing me of a Tatiana, I also donated to the family and encourage others to do so if they can. Keep up the great work, man. Thanks.
Thanks to you. Appreciate that donation, and I appreciate to hear that you, you know, reached out to that family and supported as best you could. It's very good, and I for real believe that it is very good that Fort Worth has decided not to be a piece of shit in, you know, not only making it so that guy, you know, found charges and was then booked, even if he bailed out. I haven't followed it, so I don't know if he bailed out already, but that dude was on the service for about a year, you know? What a piece of shit. That video, thank God that body cam footage found the light of day, because again, he is literally just like, show me your hands, let's see those hands, bang, you know what I mean? There's zero time for anybody to react to that. He saw them through a window. He couldn't even decide what it was. It was just the most unprofessional piece of, I don't even want to get into it. It really just, it winds me up. It winds me up dealing with it. But that being said, I'm just glad that he is finding some sort of consequence, and all we can do now is wait to see how hard it goes. My God. Oksana's asking me about something else. Doug Hutchinson's 16-year-old bride. I don't know who Doug Hutchinson is, but based on what you're telling me, I don't know. Is this in America? Here's the thing. Who is Doug Hutchinson? What is he, like, old as hell? Oh my God, it says 51-year-old actor Doug Hutchinson. You know why I knew the dude was old? Because it wouldn't be news, as rude as that is to say. I know that the age of consent in some places is 16 years old. And honestly, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I used to be in high school and I figured, you know, 16-year-old ain't that bad. It's really below that where you got problems. So the reason that I knew that the dude was old is because it gets creepier the bigger the age discrepancy, you know? Some dude banging a 16-year-old ain't that big a deal if the dude is 18. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, it may not be legal in some places, but what the fuck's the big deal if, you know, if it's like, what, 2-3 years? But when the dude's like 30, 40? 50? Oh, shit. Ew. Oh my God. So that's how I feel about that. Oh no, you know? I guess gold diggers come in all shapes and ages, my dude. What are you doing at 16 years old wanting 50-year-old man? You know? I feel like if you want a little bit of the grandpa or the granny stuff, you get on the internet, you knock one out, and you go, okay, that's enough of that, you know? How can you even look at that without thinking of like your nanners, your family, flopping, sagging, drooping. These are these words and more in description of oh God. Anyway, listen, 15 years old, the chick runs away and gets married to a loon who spent his life, or the one that is a loon who got involved in multi-level marketing, so pyramid schemes. She also convinced my dad to send me to pray away the gay camp in Tennessee. Oh, this is becoming like movie worthy. Is that why this is so long? Oh boy. So when my sister was 11 years old and begging for help, I took leave and went to her. Surprisingly, my stepmother was happy to get the attorneys to draw up paperwork for me to become my sister's guardian and even pay for it. Jesus Christ. Step monster. I just read over that without realizing it. Yo. She was ready and willing to immediately sign the paperwork to get the custody out of, like, she didn't want any of those kids. What if it was worse than we can imagine and those 16 and 15-year-old didn't just run away? What if she helped them? What if she was like, find a way out of this house, whatever it takes? Oh my God. So I'm raising my sister and things are okay until she's about 14 years old. This is really breaking my heart here. I caught her doing these videos online talking dirty, trying to get guys to jerk off. So that was a mess of trying to get those down and suing the people that hired her to do it. She ran away for a week, hiding out at a friend's house, found her when she was caught shoplifting. A breaking and entering charge at 14 years old. Ooh, you're a juvenile delinquent now, trying to steal the phone of a boy that she was dating to see if he was talking to girls. It happened on base, and I managed to talk it out of being a bigger thing. Girl, don't let this little motherfucker fuck up your career now. Oh, snap. A second breaking and entering charge with friends breaking into the NCO club to try to steal beer. I was told I had to leave base housing at that point. That sucks. The security clearance was suspended to make sure that she wasn't putting me in a position where I could be compromised. Still 14 years old, she gets arrested with a stolen military ID trying to get into a bar. 15 years old, she escapes rehab. 15 escapes rehab again. 16, things seem to be good, and she is taking school seriously. But at 18 years old, she was accepted into RSID, or RISD, graduated with honors, and had actually decent paying a job with web company and benefits and everything. Good for her. She started getting stoned a lot, and then lost her job. How stoned do you have to get to lose your job? It's like some people, when they have habits that they don't know how to manage, they just go overboard. Are those my Cheetos that fell? Boy, hold on. My Cheetos. Oh no! Oh my God. Dude, that's not good. That's not good. A portion of my Cheetos fell out on the ground in a capacity where I'm going to go do something right now. I can't believe this. Dude, no. Listen, because of what's just happened. Because of what's just happened. Right now, I am on Amazon. I can't believe this happened to me. Seriously, I'm about to like sneeze really bad. It didn't all turn over, but you know, an unfortunate enough amount of it did turn over. Wait. Okay, let's pretend that the list is still being read. She sold her car to pay her bills, ended up losing her apartment, still hadn't bothered looking for work. She got her first trust fund at 24 and blew over $400,000 in the first 2 years. Nothing to show for it. Guys, I'm not sure what a trust fund is, so I'd like you guys to like clue me in. Is it, you know, contextually I'm asking this question. Is it essentially just like a loan that you're expected to pay back? And maybe there's like crazy ass interest so that when you need to pay it back, you got to pay like almost double. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda says it's a bank account that you can't touch until certain conditions are met. A trust fund. I think I've heard of that. Don't family members set up trust funds for people? And they make it so that they can't touch the money unless like a certain amount of time has elapsed, or they've done this or they've done that. Like they're trusting that you will do this. Udabudal says a trust fund is a pile of money that rich kids are given as long as they go to school. Or something like that. Some conditions need to be met. I get it. So she got the trust fund and she blew over $400,000 in 2 years. How did you get $400,000? What about me? When am I going to get my shiny $100,000? Listen, if you guys have rich friends and you haven't suggested this channel to them, do it so that they can think to themselves, you know, wow, this guy, I think I really like him. I want to see him go far. That's what they all sound like. Gonna go ahead and set up a trust fund. I had multiple cases against her for drugs. Was restricted to the state, but decided to go follow Fish anyway and sell Molly. Is Fish a band? Better be. Fish? Upcoming tours. Okay, yeah, that's a band. Got picked up for hooking. Oh my god! She was prostituting. Oh no! Got picked up for hooking. Russ says, Kyle, what would you do with your first with $100,000? Do you want to be real? Well, first, let me be honest. $100,000, I would probably hire an agent, because the difficult thing about me is getting work consistently when I audition for a lot of things. The problem with auditioning is that people usually have a very specific idea of what they want out of a role. So objectively what that means is, and I hate to toot my own horn or break my arm jacking myself off, but let's say that there are 10 people who audition and I audition for something. I could be the best one as far as like, you know, something that sounds professional, something that is delivered the way that makes the most sense. But if what the person wanted was a Weasley little bastard that sounds like a stammering little 12-year-old, then they're going to get their part. Do you get what I'm saying? So I could audition 50 times at the end of the day and come away with no work. So there's that. But yeah, no, with an agent, he'd just be able to throw the demos at whoever needs to hear it and then come back with some shit. And I wouldn't hire him for a long time, just for a little bit. And after that, I'd probably hire somebody to just, write me lists. I bet Emmy could even do it, but she wants to be paid, and she deserves to be paid, I suppose. These women got to be paid some way. They don't want to take the gangster payment. You know what I'm talking about? Azura says, is it worth it to say I'm making ramen noodles? Well, noodles are always good, and ramen is the best variety of noodles. And Rach says, congrats on the 35K. Thank you. I mean, you guys are the ones that made it happen, so congratulations to you. Give it up for you guys, huh? Look, this girl got picked up for hooking and possession out of the state. She was returned, where she got detained and somehow released pending trial. While awaiting trial, she was caught holding enough packaged for sale heroin to qualify it as a distribution. How white are you that they don't just hold you in jail? By then I hadn't heard from her almost 7 years and only managed to keep up with her by reading the police blotter or from the occasional attorney contact that she had contact me to verify that I would pick up her legal tab. I would not. Against any logic, she was out of prison in under 3 years. How, dude? These are drug charges. She'd stand more of a chance getting out of jail by killing people than getting out of jail with drug distribution charges? Are you kidding? Wait, I just heard my phone. Where is that thing? Can someone Snapchat me? Because I'm hearing my phone, but I'm not seeing it. How is that possible? Whatever. She showed up at my house asking for a place to stay. I said I couldn't have her in my house, but I would get her a place for the night, and then helped her locate a place of her own. That night she broke into my house. Nearly got shot by me while doing it and tried to spin some story that she was looking for something that she dropped in my house earlier that day. I'm going to be serious, my dude. How fucking crazy do you have to be to get out of jail, go to your relative's house, ask to stay there, have them tell you no, and then try to break into the bitch? What the hell? I mean, like, when some people believe they have nothing to lose, they're some of the most dangerous people in the world. Because, like, I can't wrap my mind around it. What the hell were you going to get away with? How much were you going to be able to sell? And how much were you going to be able to live off of that? Was it only about the next hit? You just needed some more drugs? I don't get this shit. She nearly got shot by me. I don't know why you didn't shoot her. Tried to spin some story about how she was looking for something in my house that she dropped earlier that day, despite never actually entering the house. I told her she had to go. She threatened she would call DCFS and tell them I was abusing my kids if I didn't go with her to the ATM and give her all of the money I could withdraw. This bitch was that stupid. You know, I should get like a little bell to ring every time we get a woman threatened to lie. Because this is a new one, dude. I've heard of women threatening men, husbands. I'm going to tell them that you abused me, that you abused the kids. But this is a woman who just got out of jail, breaking into your house, talking about, if you don't take me to the ATM right now, I'm going to tell them that you abuse your kids. What? Officer, this bitch just got out of jail today and then broke in my house. The end. Take her away. Take her away. You had time to say, here's the sad part. Here's the real sad part. Here's the real sad part. When a bitch is evil, when a hoe is crazy and nuts and is going to lie and abuse and willing to throw you under the bus for her own personal gain, that's just doing what ladies do. But when you're stupid, when you're fucking stupid, like when you're really stupid, when you're basic and irrelevant and you have nothing to contribute, like you barely have looks, you barely have, any kind of charisma or grace, when you have nothing going on and you're stupid, my dude. You know what you got when you go to jail? Time, figuratively and literally. You got time, baby. You doing time. And while you doing that time, you got time to sit down. And if what you're going to do when you get outside is do some crime again, maybe, just maybe you can think about it. Does this shit make sense? Does any of this make sense? You breaking into her house when she knows that you're out because you visited her. Thank you, Arakune. I appreciate you. You're a badass. I love you. Streamlabs go straight to that PayPal. I think I just heard the phone again. Unbelievable. All right. You broke into her house, and then your first thought was to go, oh, I dropped something in here earlier, but you didn't come in the house though. Well, if you don't take me to an ATM right now, I'm gonna tell everybody you abuse your kids. How would you know? Even if I did, how would you know? Did you see us from outside the house through a window? And you just happen to be passing by, walking your dog, having just gotten out of jail today? And then you burst into the home saying, unhand that child that you're abusing. We're going to the police right now. This is why you need cameras in your house, man. And I'm gonna start a hashtag that says, but what about the cameras? And I want that to be the main response to people on that bullshit. You better take me right now to the ATM, okay? Because if you're not, I'm going to tell him you're a businessman, okay? But what about the cameras? What? You fucking bitch. And then they rip off their flesh mask and they're like actually a woman with snakes. Just a bunch of snakes for a head. Oh my God, she was snakes the whole time. Snack. Son, get the machete. I told her to get the fuck out. Before I exercise the castle defense law. I'm defending my castle. Doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't that sound wonderful? The castle defense law. Look, I can shoot you while you're in here. And there's a funny name for it too. Do you want your death to be tainted by the funny phrase that will be associated with why I was allowed to shoot your ass? Because you broke in here talking about, I dropped something when you never came in earlier. It just gets better and better. I took out a restraining order the next day, and in doing so found that she had once again left the state when she wasn't supposed to have violated her parole. So, back to the clink. Since then, she's been dead to me. She could have literally been dead if you defended the cat. I heard the phone again. Is somebody Snapchatting that? It feels like it sounds like it's right on the couch, but it's not. And it's crazy, you ever sit down? You ever sit down and you got something in your hand and you think to yourself, boy, where the hell can you have gone? You just slip into another dimension. I've been sitting here the whole time. So if it's not at my feet and it's not immediately around me and I'm not sitting on it, and Ray Chuman says, is it in your pocket? Listen, I'm going to tell you one reason why it can't be in my pocket, and I'm going to let the stream guess what that might be. And Range says, is it in the cushions? I'm sitting on a very cheap love seat because it looked better on Amazon than it actually is. And the way that the cushions work is that it just falls out of the back of the couch. So it certainly is not. It'll just fall out of the back of the couch if anything goes into it. And that's that, you know. And I looked at the back of the couch or the love seat. It's not there. Mind playing tricks on you. I never had a phone, huh? Right, Silver? What is a phone? You've never owned a phone, Gael. All you do is talk about how you should get one. Oh my God, he's right. Ridiculous. All right. Let's continue through this list because somehow we're only just now on 5 and we've been doing this for over an hour. How do I do this every day? Or I try to do it every day. Some days I just look up and go, I can't do it, and then I die. And then I go, I should have texted the Discord. What, like a shadow person who would come in here and take it, Vox Roamer? I think the only way to get my phone back is through the power of your donations. I believe that the stream, like the video, likes will bring my phone back. Because if anybody is sending messages to it, I don't even hear it anymore. I doubt it. Who knows? Hope it's not dead. It's not dead. It'll be all right. Number 5. Oh shit, I gotta charge it if it is dead. Because tomorrow I gotta get up. Number 5, all right? I was a kid and my sister was much older when my parents were finally done with her. That's messed up. From my recollection, she went through the cycle of making one stupid decision after another. Even when they would tell her to show her why she shouldn't, even when they would tell her and show her why she shouldn't make that decision. She dropped out of college and used the tuition money that she was refunded to buy a Firebird, then quit her job. Okay. She let her car run out of oil and kept driving it until the engine seized up. Oh my God. There are lights in your car for that? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Even if you're bad, even if you're really bad, I don't know. Because this is something you would expect out of a shitty car. Do you get what I'm saying? Some people got shitty cars. The lights are always on. So the only way to know that shit is up is to really take that in and go, hey man, how much further can I limp with this beat up ass car? That's another thing I would do with the 100,000. I'd probably just buy a truck, man. And not even because I have anywhere to go often, but just because like I know I'm going to find myself in positions like I got to move again soon. So when I find myself in positions where I need the truck, knowing I got to go rent the U-Haul, oh no. Not that I'd be able to make it if I wanted to move far in one trip, but that's neither here nor there, Kyle. My point is this. I know some people got beat up machines where the lights never go off, right? But she said she bought a car and let the oil run out. Dumb hoes, man. I don't want to say this too often in streams, so I'm gonna stop saying that right now. Parents bailed her out, buying her what they could afford on one salary, a decent used station wagon. Oh, that's wonderful. I want a station wagon. Yeah. I'd love to be a black guy with an old, we talking about the wood panel station wagons. What's up, guys? Rolling everywhere with the windows down. Playing lowrider. The only catch was she took the job my dad calls in favors for. Parents come home one day to find the strange car in their driveway. A sunbird. It's all some kind of bird that's on fire, right? Firebird, sunbird. It was old and shitty, but it was a 1-to-1 trade that my sister managed to swing on the station wagon. Lo and behold, the old and shitty car breaks down almost immediately, and she simply stops showing up to work. Gets fired, like the bird. She moves out with no car and no job, accusing my parents of controlling her life. You're controlling my life. I wasn't going to be able to drive around in that station wagon, Dad. She moves back in 3 months later. They allow this. Upset that I had moved into her old bedroom. Oh my God. Vox Robert, thank you. I love you.
Funding for the search of the missing phone.
You got to get the flashlights and the magnifying glasses out, guys. We got to, hold on. Let's see here. All right, gang, we're gonna go ahead and split up and look for that phone. You guys take upstairs. I'm gonna take under this couch, dudes. You ready? Oh man, do you think it's like, wait, this is behind the couch. That's just behind the couch. All right, no, enough. Sorry. I really do love some Scooby-Doo background music. It's a good thing I don't have a haunted house going on. All right, because I will play that shit. I'll play that shit on some speakers. Jinkies! It's old man Bing Bong. Why isn't he wearing his mask? That's the part that's supposed to come at the end. Because I'm crazy. Wait a minute, are you impersonating another dude? I think this guy is wearing a mask, trying to make us believe he's the other guy. Oh, dare you meddling mother. Fuck you kids. Look, moves back in 3 months later, upset that I moved into her old bedroom because it was bigger. Demands to be moved back into her bigger bedroom. Okay, dude, this really shows you what kind of hoe you dealing with. What kind of dumb hoe you dealing with. You moved out, and what? They should have just, preserved that room. Should they have boarded it up, And not like true boarded up, but like make one of those big log type wooden things that go across the front of the door. None may enter. Put like an armed guard out there, and not like armed like just with a gun. Like I'm talking about a dude in a suit of armor. Who dares enter the room of the... Well, like, get the fuck out of here. The parents say no, and then she threatens to move out? She goes on a semi-hunger strike about the bedroom. Turns out she was shoplifting and stockpiling candy to eat, so she wouldn't have to eat with the rest of the family. Yo, for real. I'm not hamming it up. My reaction to this is shock. Because best case scenario, the bitch thought she could live off of candy. Whoa. You want to know let me be real with y'all. The best part about a woman like this is she makes the best girlfriend, because she's dumb as a bag of Mississippi mud. What the hell?
Yeah, they don't let me in my room, so I'm still candy. I got the candy in my bedroom.
Bruh. Whatever, just get on your knees, girl. Whatever, Can't just put up with him. Look at the size of them titties. You better eat though, because when she shrivels up, so will them fun packages. Listen, during this time, she dates a number of lesser than stellar boyfriends. What? They should be amazing when she's a dumb hoe? Get the fuck out of here. Including a guy who is 30 years older, but he drives a Porsche. A guy who had been convicted of sexual abuse, and another guy who generally creeps everyone out by jumping the fence and just standing in the backyard at all hours of the night. You mean her type, okay? Yeah. Eventually she is told to pay rent, go to college, or move out. She chooses to move out and is gone by the end of the week. I clearly remember her threatening to burn the house down as she left. Okay. 2 months later, she asked to move back in because her roommate and best friend kicked her out. The parents say no. She's on her own unless she wants to go to college or get a job and keep it. The car breaks down again for good and calls and asks parents if they can buy her a new one. Not a new as in new to her, new as in brand new model. I love the idea that your car breaks down and you're asking your parents for a handout, but you're making demands. You're a choosy beggar and that you're trying to make it so that she or he, in the way of your parents, are buying you a new vehicle? What a bum. The car breaks down and she asks the parents for a new, brand new model, this year, car. How do you not choke on these words as they come out of your mouth? Everybody listening to this list right now, I wouldn't consider shy or pushover or non-confrontational. I wouldn't consider us so anxious that we literally crumple into a ball in most situations. But I would say that if somebody offered or somebody was available to do something in a capacity where we would ask them, hey, could you help me in this way? First of all, the fact that we know that we are asking for help means that we are not the one in control here. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not like a woman like sugaring a pot here where it's just like, oh, could you do this for me? And I might do this for you, or you know what I mean? Or there's an implication that you're going to get something out of it if they do this for you. You're just like, hey, my car broke down. I need a new car. I need a this year car. The newest car that my parents had was 15 years old at the time. They said no, and not to call again. There's a whole raft of other things, including forgetting to pick up her grandmother from the doctor's appointment, generally loathing the existence of the rest of the family, and then, ironically, deriding the family as rednecks. When she finally managed to hook a guy who has a small business and actually had some money. This bitch better be attractive. That's all I have to say. How did she make it this far? It's been about 20 years since I've spoken to her, and from the stuff that I've heard through the pipeline, I'm better off for it. I do expect her to come calling when my parents pass, and she finds out I am the sole heir. Ugh. This is disgusting. Somebody said, another guy who generally creeps everyone out by jumping the fence and just standing in the backyard of all hours of the night. Somebody said, your sister dated Michael Myers. Bing, 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 bing. Jesus Christ. He's out there again. Bing, 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 bing. Oh my God.
Yeah, I like it when he does that. Deal with it, Mom and Dad. Gonna need a new car. This year, Mom and Dad. Also, Mom and Dad, gonna need to move back in the other room I was in before. And if not, I'm gonna hunger strike. Little do they know, I've got a bedroom full of candy that I stole. Bing, 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 bing.
Yes, eat the candy. I'm sorry. Number 4, my ex-wife disowned my son. We both married young when I was in the military. We were high school sweethearts. Barf. She became pregnant 6 months into our marriage. I don't think she connected with him at all after he was born. The most she did with him was an Instagram photo shoot where she painted herself as #1 mommy. When he turned 3 years old, I left the military. A year after that, she ran for the hills. I remember it like it was yesterday. I sat down with her at a local restaurant to talk about the divorce plans. We split all of our financials and materials down to the middle. We finally got custody from my kid, something I dreaded to discuss because her father never gained custody because fathers never gain custody in my area. She tells me I wanted absolutely no responsibility. I was taken back and asked her if she was sure, and she said that she was. That one sentence hurt me more than anything that happened during that time. My biological father wanted nothing to do with me, and now I was seeing it happen with my own child, but with his own mother. I received full custody, and she was married within a year afterwards. Well, she went right into it again. She then had another child. Her parents try their best to be a part of his life, but she still does her best to avoid him. He's 7 years old now, and he's used to it. But I know it weighs heavy on him. It sucks ass, but I guess that's life. Whoa. Do you consider that evil, stream? If you consider it evil, like the video. If you don't consider it evil, leave a comment and tell me why, and then like the video. You remember what I was saying earlier about how like some women just aren't ready? We're all human. We occasionally reach a point where we figure we're not satisfied with where we are. We wonder if things could have gone differently. We wonder what if. Where should we be? Where we'd like to be? How can we get there? You plop a baby out and you're just not in the mood for it though? You're dumping it on the dad? You don't want any responsibility? But then you jump into it with another dude and do it again? Was the dad the problem? You know what I mean? And if the dad was the problem, how can you have no reservations about abandoning this child? You pooped this baby out. You're its mother. And it makes you wonder, like, was she dating this other dude at the time? One thing women become woefully apparent of after they have a kid is that, bro, first of all, you were probably, let's say for all intents and purposes, you were a 10 before you had that kid. Most women, by the time they have that kid on that superficial ass scale, maybe they're 7 now. And not just because they're physically different, but because they are a woman with a child by another man, you know? So whatever partner's, interested in you, they know that you exist as a lady with a kid. So maybe they want to fool around with you, but it's most certainly not long term. And for the dudes who are invested in being with you, long term or starting a relationship with you, most certainly they're going to want to have their own kid who they will feel definitely more of an attachment to than the other one, even if they never betray that information, even if they never say it out loud. You should assume that if you, a mother, have a kid by a dude and then get with another dude, he's going to want to have a kid, and that kid will be the favorite because it's his actual kid. So you have to wonder if in a scenario like the story we just read, does the mother know that it would hinder her chances of bagging a man that's all about her and all about the kid if she had a kid from another relationship? This is where the fairy tale assholish step parents come from, is because they harbor this hatred, this resentment to these bastard kids, and it's messed up, but that's the way that it is. Feel really bad for that kid, man. And it's kind of shocking, like some parents, but we don't need to understand it to know that it's out there. Number 3, a little different. I was disowned, but I deserved it. Hey, I think I'm going to like this one. I was an addict and a mess for a long time. My mom couldn't keep bailing me out of trouble and watching me self-destruct anymore. I wasn't living at home. She came to see me one last time to tell me that she was done. She told me not to contact her. She would no longer have anything to do with me. She was in pieces. I can't imagine how hard it must have been for her, but it was the best thing that she ever did for me. Once she cut me off, my rock bottom came hard and fast. After a little while of living on the streets and my addiction consuming me, I made my way to a detox center, got a few days clean under my belt, and never looked back. That was almost 15 years ago, and after I was clean a little, I contacted her, and little by little we built a relationship up again, and now we're really close. I am forever grateful to my mom for letting me fall and letting me back into her life. Yeah, sometimes you gotta break these motherfuckers to establish their true potential. You must be broken to be properly made whole. Someone says,
That's so beautiful.
and somebody else says,
I second this. It's also great to read a story where a child acknowledges that they had a part in the story and took responsibility. All too often it's accepted that the kids are and forever will be the victims of their parents, and the reverse isn't as unwelcome unless the child is clearly a psychopath. That can really fail to account for a parent's humanity.
you sure you don't want to make this comment longer? Longer, like a scary pair of nipples. Long like a scary pair of nipples. That comment was long in the nipples. Number 2 on this list that, we're finally ending, an hour and 30 minutes. I don't even have 95 likes on this video, as I should, if that's how many people are watching. And even more are going to watch this video after the fact. And let this be the one video that you like. I'm not going to ask you for it again. like just this one video, because again, you may be dealing with a Kyle disappearance tomorrow, and it was my dying wish for you to just like the video. Just kidding, not dying. So keep them donations rolling. I'm kidding. Number 2, my parents disowned my oldest sister. She always struggled growing up more than us. She became a teen mom, oh no, with a bad older dude who partied a lot. But my parents helped her all the way. They do okay for themselves, but had a no co-signing rule for all 6 of my siblings and I. Still, they co-signed for her house so she could get a head start. But mom and dad, you guys said that you don't have a co-signing rule, and then you're breaking that rule because this bitch got knocked up when she was younger? Fuck that hoe. That's so unfair. I'm not even part of your family and I think that's unfair. Ugh. Mom. Breaking your own rules. Now you're a real parent. Now you are a real parent.
Listen, I'ma say some shit, but then I'm not even gonna follow it. Hypocrite status unlocked.
Parenting level up. She didn't pay the mortgage for almost 3 years before mom got served in front of all the other nurses that worked. Hell yeah. And I hope you learned a lesson, bitch. I thought there's a no co-signing rule, mom. My parents worked tirelessly to try to work out deals where my sister and her family kept the house and got some leniency, but to no avail, because my sister never showed up for the court dates.
And she didn't show up for the court dates.
A delinquent. Do you know why I hate to allow the schadenfreude to envelop me and lose myself in the delightful misery that is this ridiculous situation? And you know why? It's because maybe you're like me, where you have parents that make you seem like one of the worst little assholes in the world, you know? Not like deliberately, but like through comparison, through, every parent wants their child to be better. And every parent, maybe their parenting style, they consider tough love to be, instead of patting you on the back and congratulating you for what they view as a success, they always just want to keep pushing you for something better. But most parents, even my parent, they have a very specific view of what they want. And unless what they want is what you fall in line of, they don't really give a shit. And they don't view you as anything relevant, my dude. And that's fine, right? But when there's other people on deck that they're celebrating, and then they end up to be a piece of shit, missing court hearings, getting fucking pregnant at a young age, like drugs, stupid ass decisions. You know what I mean? You can call me a lot of things, but a nigga that's getting in trouble, that's getting caught slipping, you catching me with drugs. I'm throwing some baby batter in a bitch with no protection. You got me fucked up. These are not something that a wise person does. Do you get what I'm saying? You can have the knowledge, but if you don't apply that knowledge, it's not wisdom. So all the book smarts in the world, you graduating from here and doing all of this shit, if you still making that dumb hoe ideology come to life through your actions, hey man, I don't know why the people who are handing you out are shocked when things just don't go the way they're supposed to do. The sister never showed up for the court dates. During this time, she paid $12,000 for IVF. Tell me that's not in vitro fertilization, darling. Tell me that's not in vitro. It's in vitro fertilization. What you mean? Why would you do that? It's a good thing there's not a camera on me right now. Play that Scooby-Doo music one more time. Yeah, I like that flute. Yeah. Anyway, she paid for in vitro fertilization and got pregnant. Oh, no, it doesn't say 5th kid. No, it does not. 5th kid? I have never wanted to walk out of a list before. Good night. 5 kids? And your mommy's paying the bills and you're about to lose the house? I'm out here literally like $100 would make my freaking month. Which is why I love you guys so much, no matter what you decide to contribute because it goes a long way. It genuinely helps me, so that I can continue to always be here for the distraction or whatever the hell you want going on, so we can enjoy these stories together. She had $12,000 to pay on in vitro fertilization. The same bitch who got pregnant when she was 15 by just some dude. What's stopping you from getting on Craigslist and hiring some dude? It ain't gonna cost you nothing, because he's the one who feels like he's getting away with something. It's only going to cost him nutting inside you. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you like that one? Do you appreciate that? I'm like a wordsmith. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not going to have you under the impression that I'm some sort of lyrical god like Kanye, because I'm not freaking stupid, right? God, Kanye's insane. But I guess that's part of his whole gimmick persona. When my mom demanded... Oh, crap. I'm sorry, Dia. I turned on the light when I was looking for the phone. That is still missing. Someone Snapchat that phone, because I don't know where it is. I really need help. Oh, God. When my mom demanded some of the money back, she accused my dad and my brother of beating her sons when my parents took them to Disney World. She's gone full female. You accuse your father of beating your children. Like your parents are still involved in your kids' lives and treating them by taking them to a theme park, and you're gonna lie and said that the father, your father, the grandfather of your kids that was treating your children, and she's threatening to file a police report if she was asked for money again. They kept asking because it wasn't true. She awkwardly joined us for Christmas and punched my brother in the face during the meal for humiliating her oldest son by asking him if he wanted to work at my brother's company for good pay. That's humiliating. Her oldest son is in and out of jail, and my brother was trying to help him after his release, but her son said he didn't want a job and got mad. She then called the cops and told them that the same brother had illegal guns in his truck, and they came on Christmas night and searched the truck. No guns found. I'm sorry about that noise. Ugh. Let me go ahead and put This entry is exhausting. Like this video for me. Get it up there. So it says, needless to say, she is not welcome anywhere near any of us, and my mom still cries about it but refuses to talk to her again. It's a shame that this is what it took for her to not be welcome there anymore. You know? Because I'm going to be honest, people really like to harp on with the whole blood is thicker than water, family is everything bullshit. But people are people, and terrible people exist that were born. They weren't just, farted into existence. They have mothers. They have siblings. In some cases... Oh my God, it was against the microphone stand, and that's why I could hear it. Thank you, Linda. Okay. And that's why I could hear it so well. That's ridiculous. Because it was so loud to me, and I'm thinking, this shit's right. Oh God, 9%. Give me a second, I gotta plug this in. That's all I'm saying, man. I want you guys, if anything in this list, I want you guys to walk away, being mindful of the red flags that you've been tolerating in your life up until this point. If you ever see a red flag, don't let it just, be something you ignore. Because if I ever took my grandkids to Disney World, or out on some sort of thing, and then I had their mother, my daughter, threaten that she was going to claim that I was abusing those kids, I would unfortunately, and it sucks that the children have to pay the consequence for their mother's actions, I would unfortunately never be seeing those kids again. You can't place yourself in situations where, you know, it'll allow for hijinks. And like, yes, in a perfect world, maybe there'd be cameras everywhere, so we'd be able to refute these ridiculous claims made by crazy people. But this is above and beyond. You call in the police on Christmas night, it just shows you the capacity for selfishness. Like, this is all about her and looking a certain way and her honor being preserved and not losing face, because in her Karen mind, she, you know, is in the right. How dare you humiliate my son? I'm going to punch you in the face at this Christmas dinner and then call the police because you have illegal guns in your truck. And then when the cops come, there's nothing there. You just lie. You just say anything. You just try to, you know, throw everybody under the bus because, you know, you're miserable. So you're going to go ahead and project that misery onto everybody else. But the bottom line is, you guys can't enable this kind of behavior. $12,000 for in vitro fertilization. Why? Why do you need a fifth kid? Why do you need a fifth kid? Why can't it be normal? Why does it need to be in vitro? This is the end of this list. Please like this video. Thank you for being amazing. This has been almost a 2-hour ride. I promised myself I'd stop doing lists like these. You know, try to be here daily and not just stretch myself too thin. Oksana says, Kyle, I thought you were against public surveillance cameras as it would be too invasive. I was. But, you know, when you meet enough women, your opinions on things change. You know? It's terrible, but it's better than the alternative. I think at this point, what you have to understand is that we have kissed the days of privacy goodbye. You're not on your own when you go into a changing room. You're not on your own when you go into a fucking bathroom. You know, when you're in your own house, there's somebody listening to you. I don't need to be behind a live microphone or sitting in front of a webcam that I think is off or anything. If the smartphone's in the room, somebody's listening to you. If your house is near a street, somebody's listening to you. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like a question. So the way that I look at it is throw some video on that shit too. We just had a fucking cop roll up to somebody's house after somebody called a non-emergency number for a wellness check. A woman is playing a video game with her nephew. And my dude shows up. He does not bang on the door. He does not say, it's law enforcement. I'm a cop. He shines a light through windows. He's in your backyard. What person after hearing noises in their backyard wouldn't investigate? And peering through a window at what seems to be an invader in her home, on her property, was the last thing a woman did before getting shot in the face by a police officer. So let it be the creepiest thing, unfortunately, that's happening in real life that you hear about. This 28-year-old black woman that was playing video games with her nephew heard something in her backyard. She looked into the backyard, and before my dude could go, put your hands up, bang, he shot the bitch in the face. 1 second after he started speaking, not after. He didn't give her the time to hear the command. He didn't give her the time to respond to the command. He didn't give her any time. He didn't give himself any time before he opened fire. And if nerves made him do it, I don't fucking care, because he should have had that weapon fucking stowed. He should have knocked. He should have announced who he was. He gunned down an innocent woman in her own home. This is the world that we're living in now. So, what I want y'all to sit with is the certainty. I want you to know this in your heart. If that body camera footage didn't exist, where we can see that this dude shot the gun that fast, 1 second after he said, put your hands up, he saw somebody, he shot. He didn't figure out who it was, if they lived there. He didn't ask their name. He didn't ask their name. He didn't issue the command to put your hands up. He pulled the trigger and shot him. And I want you to understand with certainty, if that body camera footage and audio did not exist, this dude would have gotten away with it. If a police officer who is supposed to uphold the law can get away with something because there's no cameras, then anybody can, my dude. The police immediately released footage that they had taken of a gun inside her apartment or home. They went in there and they found a gun, and that was the first thing that they started circulating. And they had even moved it. You can see the inconsistencies in different pictures where they moved the weapon. Were they moving it closer to her body to make it seem as if, she definitely held the gun towards me or something like that? She had time to, do that? Because in the video that we can see, you hear that as soon as he goes, put your hands up, bang. 1 second. 1 second. Not when he was done talking. From the time he started speaking, 1 second passed before he opened fire. He didn't see the barrel of a gun. He didn't recognize who he was looking at. He just opened fire. And without the fucking footage, this dude would be getting away with it. So take it from somebody who's had a woman lie on him and had their freedom revoked. It's a necessary evil. We need the cameras at this point. And you may not feel like you need them. You may feel like it's an invasion of privacy. And you know why you feel like that? Because it hasn't fucking happened to you yet. And I'm glad that you can live on that safe side of the fucking veil where you have the illusion that like bad shit doesn't happen every day. But you want to know what's worse than bad shit? It's shit that doesn't even happen, but people make out to seem worse than it actually was. It's niggas getting canceled when they didn't really do anything because a bunch of hoes jump up in a flock and decide that this dude did something that he didn't really do. There's no proof. You know what I mean? Better there be some photoshopped images or some deep fakes or some shit than no proof and a hoe squawking that something happened that it didn't happen. So yes, let me get some fucking cameras. Not just one, but maybe 2, maybe 4. So that when you guys out here, trying to prove something, you can hit me with the multiple angles. Let's make it irrefutable proof so that the juries can come to a conclusion that is not based on a lack of evidence, because that's what we see in today's world. Dude opened fire on this lady, and without that evidence in court, they'd be able to go, oh, well, there was a gun in her home. This is her criminal record. Look at this mugshot from this time that she was picked up on a charge 10 years ago or some bullshit like that. That's the world we live in. Sorry. So maybe back in the day when when people were still denying climate change and people were under the impression that the NSA and the CIA weren't listening to us, we could just be like, no, that is invasive. And public cameras is against what we believe in and America stands for. Right now, you should be under the impression that there isn't a single conversation that you're having that isn't being monitored. You don't need no fucking Alexa in your house. You don't need no dumbass like home thing that you can talk to. But it's not just when you say hello Google. It's not just when you say, Google this and you're using your text to speech. Your phones are always listening to you. And even without them, you should assume that there is some device that is listening to all of you wherever you are in your homes. Conspiratorial as it may seem. You can Google a story right now where some dude that was like, in a Xbox Live chat, said some shit that was vaguely terrorist and he got picked up. People out here selling drugs on Snapchat and they getting picked up, It doesn't need to be you stupid, like using your location services on your phone when you're sending out a story on Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram, You can just be having a one-on-one conversation, and if you're under the impression that you're not being watched or listened to, then you're ignorant. And I hope that I've educated you as best I can on the scenario. That is why I believe that we do need these public cameras, because people lie and it's gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand. Because maybe if the justice found the people who lie as hard as it does the victims of the people that lie on them, you know, how can I care? Woman jumps up and says, oh, he raped me, and they put you in jail and they keep you in jail for years. And then it comes out that she lied. It's not true. I just lied. So then they release you and what? Pat on the back? Does she go in jail? No. If she does, maybe a month. Here's some community service. Fuck it. Put the cameras all over the place. Give me some proof. I'm gonna need that proof. Number 1. What a roller coaster of a list. I have disowned my oldest son. He molested my daughter. He's been diagnosed as a sociopath, and we have a restraining order against him. It is fun. It isn't fun, and I never thought I would be that parent. You can tell by how short she is, how displeased she is with this whole incident. The fact that this is a very cold entry. Like, I got this thing maximized to like 250%, and this whole list still fits neatly on one page, on one little blurb. You can tell how it's fucked this person. I'm sorry. Someone responds, dated a girl for a long time who had been molested by her brother for years growing up. Her parents tried the whole we need to move on and forgive him thing. Very popular in families. Very popular for people to cover for the asshole. It fucked her up having to see him at holidays. She was cutting, drinking herself to sleep. Almost destroyed a very beautiful and amazing person. It got better when he went to federal prison for making and distributing child bing bong and sex with underage girls. My God. Because the parents had to enable a monster, you know? These are red flags, and you just let them be what they are. You enable a monster. Instead of like throwing obstacles in that little bastard's way, you guys are removing them for him. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this list. Like this video for me. And hopefully you'll see me soon. Hopefully I can stay out of trouble. Otherwise, you know, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your life. Do what you do. She looks kind of bony, but there looks like there's some boobs down there. You know what I mean? This enhances the selfie. Nice. Okay. You guys take it easy. Have a fantastic evening. That looks like pretty bra. Wait a minute. Why did it enhance so big? If I looked at that from the main window, would it have stayed? No, let me see here. Okay, do that. Okay, now do this. Me. Psh, ain't nothing in that. Such a pretty bra to house nothing inside. Typical. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you soon. There's a Humble bundle out with Catherine in there, but it's the original Catherine, not like the new one. So watch out, okay? Don't let them get you if you want that new version of Catherine. Hey, I think I remember playing everything. It was pretty weird. And I don't remember if I finished it or if it was just like there was nothing more to it. Everything. No. Okay. You know, I should make it easier to find things on this channel. But who knows? Maybe things that I put up got like taken down because, you know, I think everything gets taken down, dude. What am I supposed to do? It all gets taken away. No. All right, guys. Love ya. Take it easy. Wait, am I missing anything? Howdy says my girlfriend has a few family members who are child bing bongers in her family, and they just believe the whole move on mentality. Well, there's a lot going on with Haru's girlfriend that, you know, I don't even want to get into on that ass. Jesus, Wimley Wom Cribble Crumbs. Alright? So again, before I go, I want to thank you all for liking the video. I want to thank you for taking your time out to be here. Join the Discord if you want notifications of when these streams will go live. Discord link is in the description. I want to thank you to Vox Romer and Arukune for their hot donations. Thanks again for Uruboros Knowles' donation, and Justin Thoaz. Appreciate you. And appreciation to all of you who are joining as members, who are also then not, not doing it during stream, because I leave OBS open sometimes, so I'll just get like a notification that somebody clicked the join button, and that's really wonderful. So I appreciate that. True Silverwolf says, Kyle, you still doing post-list exercises? I can start that up tomorrow if you guys want, because I really do need to get in better shape, especially since I'm supposed to be jumping on camera soon anyway, to keep YouTube off my back. I'm a black creator. Move on, move on. You know what I mean? Like YouTube bust in the room with a gun, and they're just like, all right, all the white people put their hands up. Not me, not me. Yeah, prove it. Okay, my camera's on. And then YouTube's like, yeah, you looking real pretty there, you POC. You like that, you POC? And I'm all like, oh, I like it. Like they put the gun in my mouth. Hey, why am I $600 behind? No. Guys, if you're saying you're gonna find somebody to hustle out of $600 just so you can donate it to me, even though I appreciate the sentiment, you don't need to do that, okay? You don't need to do it. I love you. And I really just want you all to prosper, you know? I want you guys to reach up and grab whatever you want. But maybe don't do it if that thing is like somebody else's. Don't be stealing. Don't break into somebody's house and be like, I dropped my wallet in here earlier. What the fuck? Or you're just like, you better take me to an ATM right now or I'm going to tell the cops you're abusing your kids. And you'll be like, what kids? I don't have those. Also, nah, never mind. Send me scary stories though. Snap them to me or get into the Discord and do it. Let me get the link to the Discord in case somebody's really lazy and doesn't want to even like scroll down. You see that I'm doing like everything for you. So let me get that link. Remember, my plan is to try to read them as bedtime stories as we approach Halloween. So that at least by Halloween, you guys will have probably like, what, 15, 20 short little stories on a playlist to go to sleep to. And there's no reason it needs to stop at Halloween, but, you know, the shorter the better. So do that. I love you. Stay frosty. And we'll talk soon. Bye.